First White Christmas Since by Sandra Singleton. The boat rocks and sways gently in the December breeze. Nobody seems to notice. It's packed, buzzing with happy chatter, laughter, and the chinking of cutlery hitting china. The distinct aroma of fried bread and bacon, intermingled with rich, fragrant coffee, wafts tantalizingly towards where Ray and I sit, hand in hand, like newlyweds. The mid-morning sun streams into the ferry's lounge, warming my face. I love coming onto the island for Christmas, I say, especially as it's your sister's turn to host. If you're sure you're up for it. My husband's voice is full of concern. I rest my head against his shoulder. I don't have to look at him to know he is frowning. I'm fine. It's been nearly a year now. We need this. I want everything to be as normal as possible. I hope the anxiety I feel is lost in my overly bright reply. Ray takes a deep, steadying breath. You are truly amazing, Karen. You stay so positive. You shame us all. I have you, that's all I need. I squeeze his hand. And a nice big turkey dinner to look forward to with no washing up afterwards. He chuckles and squeezes my hand back. I'm glad it's Myra's turn to open our shared holiday cottage on the Isle of Wight. I certainly wouldn't be able to air the rooms, make up the beds, light the fires, or decorate the tree in readiness for our winter annual get-together. Since last January, when it happened, I have struggled to do anything about our own house, not confident enough to rely on my own strength or capabilities. Small things, like making a drink, preparing a sandwich, even getting washed and dressed, have become huge challenges. I used to be so house-proud. Not a speck of dust anywhere, not a smear on my windows, a bathroom floor you could eat your dinner off, if you felt that way inclined. All those things I did and took for granted that I would continue to do. Freshly ironed shirts, shopping, a tasty meal to share at the end of the working day. Not anymore. Before Ray leaves for work each morning, he helps me get up, ready and settled downstairs into my chair. And this is where I spend most of the day, listening to time slipping by with each tick and each tock from the mantelpiece clock, reliving my life up to that point when it all changed, thinking about the if-onlys. We will shortly be arriving at our East Cowes terminal. Will all car passengers please return to their vehicles? The announcement startles me. I begin to feel the familiar panic and my stomach knotting. Now I must get up and make my way to our car. People will see me struggling, see my stick. They'll jump out of the way like scalded cats and mutter their sorries. I hate their pity. I hate being outside amongst them. I hate being different. We'll wait for a bit, Ray reassures me. When it clears of people a little, you can take your time. I nod and smile. At least I won't feel like a lazy fraud going down in the lift, I quip, rising slowly in readiness. Ray's protective arm slips around my waist. Ready when you are, he replies. You can tell we are back on the island, I laugh, as the car jolts and rocks over potholes and around twisty bends. Sorry, if Rudolph and his buddies had been available, we could have used the sleigh, Ray chortles back. I don't expect to kiss your whiskery face, Santa, until Christmas Day. I'm warming to the theme of our conversation. Besides, how much would that rig have cost us on the ferry? Ray sucks the air in through his teeth, the way builders do when they're about to deliver an exorbitant estimate for a minor bit of work. Certainly would be over the 3-metre limit, plus carrots and cappuccinos for 9 reindeer. Far too much. Donna and Blitzen prefer hot chocolate. Ray nudges me playfully in my side. I sit back, relaxed. I used to be a terrible passenger, your typical backseat driver, tutting, flinching, clutching the door handle, asking how fast we were travelling, pointing out road signs or possible dangers. It drove my very patient husband to distraction. It was the only time we ever argued. I always believed I was a competent car user, driving for over 35 years without a hint of a near miss. In fact, I loved driving. Couldn't wait to learn when I reached 17 and pass my test first time. Being mobile with my own little second-hand Beetle gave me freedom, independence, the means to travel wherever and whenever I wanted. I felt safe, yet liberated. That's why I always insisted on driving. I was in control and everyone's favourite person to call on for chauffeuring duties. I didn't drink and drive. That restraint wasn't shared by the driver of the car that smashed into us at the junction. He was 4 times over the legal limit. Like us, he was returning from his Christmas break. Unlike us, he had stopped in the pub first, for what turned out to be his final family lunch. This was my first white Christmas since the accident. You're here, you made it! Our brother-in-law Robert envelops me in a huge hug and plants a kiss clumsily on my forehead. Come in, Myra calls from somewhere behind him. Robert is a large, big-hearted bear of a man, a typical gentle giant who cried like a baby when Raymond Briggs' snowman melted and E.T. wanted to go home. Ray's sister, Myra, is sparrow-like next to him, with a delicate bone structure and porcelain skin. But she has the strength and courage of a lion, and her devotion to her family is ferocious. Something smells lovely, I say, allowing Robert to take my hand and help me into the warmth of our chintzy cottage lounge. I've been baking the mince pies for when you arrive. Myra bustles around and I hear her plumping up cushions and tidying away newspapers. Sit by the fire and rest. Robert whisks my jacket off and steadies me into one of our big squishy armchairs. Tree looks beautiful, Myra. Ray has followed us into the lounge. Thank you, Ray. Can you sort out the sherry? Robert, a few more logs for the fire, I think. I'll go and get the mince pies and whip up some brandy cream. Myra tolls out duties. She's a natural sergeant major. Anything I can do, I ask? Not an empty request, a genuine one. There is an awkward silence. Everyone is holding their breath, lest the wrong thing be said. If you could ever hear minds whirring, now would be the moment. Maybe a little later I can bring you in the peas to shuck and the Christmas pudding to stir. God bless Myra. We all breathe again. They jostle out to perform their assigned tasks, exchanging friendly banter. Ray telling Robert he needs to change his barber, that Myra has put the gold fairy and not the silver on top of the tree. Where has her sense of style gone? Robert starting to advise on the best route home. Myra telling Robert to shut up, as we have all only just arrived. Myra admonishing Ray gently for looking so tired. Then the kitchen door is quietly pushed closed, and all I can make out is muted whispering. I've got used to that. It doesn't bother me anymore. I close my eyes and drink in the heady pine scent from the tree and listen to the logs crackling in the fireplace. A little dog is yapping intermittently outside. Maybe because the sun has disappeared and rain is pattering steadily against the windows. Heavenly carols from the radio drift softly through the house, together with the delicious fruity spices of the mince pies. This is my first white Christmas since the accident. I'm surrounded by love and warmth, and I'm going to enjoy it. I've made a special effort for Christmas Day, allowing Myra to help me into a dress and wear my hair in a French knot. I even let her dab perfume behind my ears. Being jolly and enjoying ourselves are our unspoken strict orders. First off, Buck's Fizz to ward off the cold, Robert instructs. A gentle stroll, arm in arm, down to the village church. We belt out our favourite Christmas hymns, bow our heads respectfully, and listen patiently to the vicar's heartfelt sermon on forgiveness and loving our neighbours. That's what I meant to ask you, I whisper to Myra. Has one of our neighbours got a new dog? No. Why do you ask? She whispers back. I keep hearing a little dog barking. Yesterday when we first arrived, last night when we went up to bed, then again quite early this morning. You're imagining it. Myra fidgets dismissively before we all rise for our final sing-song. Back home, crackers are pulled, paper hats placed on heads and silly jokes read out. Ray helps me tuck my napkin into my neckline, knowing what a messy eater I am, particularly where gravy is concerned. We tuck into the succulent turkey dinner. It smells and tastes divine, and Myra's roast potatoes are just perfectly crunchy and fluffy in equal measures, and her bread sauce velvety smooth. Robert and Ray challenge each other to a sprout eating competition. The rules are simple. How many sprouts can be put in your mouth without chewing or swallowing them, and then say Merry Christmas? God bless us one and all. Everyone agrees that the pudding is excellent, due to my wonderfully honed mixing skills. Finally, we retire to the comfort of the lounge for present swapping. I settle back, replete and happy. I know that Ray crept downstairs early this morning to place our gifts for Myra and Robert under the tree, and that Myra has purchased the Rolex watch I know my husband has coveted for years. It's been professionally wrapped and my dictated mushy sentiment on a gilt-edged card attached. The compensation payout from the accident has allowed me to afford this. Something good has come from something bad. The excited tension is palpable in the room. Ray clears his throat. Karen, you know how much I've worried about you not going out since... Can any of you hear that? I interrupt quickly. I don't want him to say since the accident or since I became blind. Hear what, my love? That dog, yapping. I keep hearing it. They all laughed, and I hear them whispering. I feel so excluded. I'm already shut off in this never-ending darkness, where I battle constantly with an overwhelming sense of loss. Then I feel it. Warm and solid, yet soft and fluffy against my leg. My first instinct is to kick out, but I resist. I tentatively lean forward and extend my hands out, searching, feeling. and rewarded with a warm, slobbery lick. Meet your new puppy companion, Bertie. My husband kisses my cheek, and I can tell from the position of his voice that he has knelt in front of me. He is going to be trained with you to help you about the house. Eventually, he will become your guide dog, so you can go out walking again. I feel the puppy's front paws on my knee, then his back legs scrabbling frantically against my ankles. I scoop Bertie from the floor and enfold him onto my lap. He snuggles down instantly, but continues to lick my hands. I kiss the top of his head. He has stolen my heart already. Suddenly, my world seems much lighter and brighter. I have my freedom back. This is my first white Christmas since Bertie's arrived.